KT7 up here. This is my FF8 Rerun priority list video. I will go over the release schedule, banner info, shop info, the unit upgrades and talk a little bit about Cipher. At the end, I will have my vivi or priority list. Let's get started. First, the release schedule. We are at the week of Lucio and her VC. Next week, the rerun will officially start. On week 1 of the collab, we will get the new unit Cipher. All the previously released FF8 units and VCs will return alongside him. The returning units are getting MA2s and LB upgrades. On week 2, Cipher's VC in Trials of Reckoning. The new equipment is the Sorceress's Letter. Also, the Ragnarok replica is getting a +6. Edea will appear as an enemy. She should be a playable unit the next time FF8 comes back. Irvine and her VC will be on week 3. I will talk more about her in the 140 showcase video. This time, we will only focus on week 1 and week 2. Let's go over some shop and banner info. Gil shards return for every unit and VC, 80 each. All the FF8 units share mind spheres, be sure to pick them up. The mod medals are very nice too. Next, Cipher's banners. He gets the 4-step banner with free vis, the 5-step banner with paid vis, and the standard featured unit banner. There is also a 5 UR guarantee banner with 80 FF8 mind spheres for 2k paid. You can do this pull twice. I don't recommend to pull on this for Cipher, he does not have the boosted rate. But if you are after the mind spheres, it could be a good choice. 2k medals pity for the unit is available. His VC gets the standard Hollow Vision card banners and 1k medal pity. This is a very good card to have for Sword Warrior and Sword Knight. Next, the returning banners. Squall gets the same treatment as Cipher, free 4-step, paid 5-step and regular banner. Also a 2k medal pity. For the 2 returning VCs, they have combined banners. There are 2 options. The paid option is a 6k paid 5-step, with VC of choice on step 5. And the free option is 10k 5-step, with 25 VC shards of choice on step 3, and vision card of choice on step 5. Rinoa is the free unit, everyone will get her from a free 10 pull. That's another 40 mind spheres for those who have her at level 99 or above. For Irvine, he is tied to Rinoa. They shared 3 banners together. A 9-step banner with 40 shard of choice on step 3 and 6. And 40 mind spheres on step 4 and 7. Irvine is not guaranteed from the 9-step. The second banner is the paid 5-step. And the third banner is the standard featured unit banner. Irvine is also available for 2k medal pity. That's all the banners info. Next, unit upgrades info. Let's look at Squall first. His MA2 gives him slash penetration 10, AoE penetration 30, and upgrade to force barrier. The 30 AoE penetration is really good, his winding blade and blasting zone are more powerful now. The force barrier upgrade changed the duration of the slash and strike resistance from 3 to 4 turns. Also, the range of the damage reduction is now 2 to 5 instead of 4 to 7. This is a huge change. Range 2 to 5 makes a lot more sense in the current meta. It also affects the AI of his enemies. They will come as close as they can to attack Squall. I like this change, it is meaningful, and does make him more durable in fights. Next is LB upgrades. It is now a sure hit. Also breaks physical barrier and lower target's unit resistance by 60% for 3 turns before damage. Unit resistance shred is very good to set up Aulaya for her stag impact. His weapon, the Lionheart, is getting a +6. The new unique effect for Squall is CT up small on crit hits. The crit type has 34 critical rate at +6. This is the best type in my opinion. He crits quite often, this upgrade is very good for him. Overall, Squall is getting some pretty good upgrades. His damage output increased quite a lot from the MA2 and LB upgrades. The force barrier is a lot more practical. But he still cannot compare to the next gen units. If you don't already have him, don't pull for him. He is still a great PvE unit. Next, Rinoa's upgrades. For her MA2, her skill activation time further reduced from 200 to 400. She also gets healing power 10 and debuff reduction 25. Even with this upgrade, she still cannot instant cast time accelerant. Her LB upgrades gave it 3 turns 60% AoE resistance shred before damage. The damage modifier increased from large to extra large. Also dispel haste and nullify haste for 3 turns. And has a 67% chance to inflict poison. Her LB upgrades are really good, being able to stop your enemy from using haste is very useful. Her weapon, the shooting start, is getting a +1. Both the weapon and recipe are obtained via the event bingo board. There are 2 new unique abilities for Rinoa. Lower incoming magic damage by 10% when her HP is above 70%. The other one is AoE resistance 10. These are okay, not a big fan of the conditional magic damage reduction. But the AoE resistance is nice. As a support unit, they typically get dragged in by AoE attacks. You could always give her Solomon's Gloves and Pod 042 for higher magic and 8 AoE resistance. Next, Irvine's upgrades. His MA2 gives him Physical Man-Eater 25, and reduced physical damage by 25% for 2 hits. This improves both his damage and survivability, not bad. His LB upgrades lowered AP consumption from 49 to 39. Also increases accuracy by 40 for 3 turns. And lower target's missile resistance by 38 for 3 turns before damage. And gives Irvine 100 debuff resistance for 3 turns, which means he cannot be debuffed after using his LB. Finally, Irvine gets a unique gun, the Exeter. The abilities are Defense Penetration 20, Physical Man-Eater 15, and Crit Rate up 15. You can obtain this gun by finishing his character quest too. Overall, his upgrades are just okay. The Physical Man-Eater will improve his follow-up damage, but they did not increase his range, which is Irvine's biggest weakness. Moving over to the 2 returning vision cards. Nothing has changed besides the Elder Awakening. I think Squall's VC still has good value, it is a main slot card for the lightning element. However, Irvine's card really isn't necessary. Even with the Guild Battle Reserve system, it is most likely a replaceable sub-slot card. Now let's talk about Cipher, the new unit. He is a 100 cost dark unit in the Sword Warrior group. He has a calculated Ren-shaped AoE attack that can break barriers and remove re-raise. This is such a good ability against units like Sephiroth and Gilgamesh. He also has a 4-turn all-damage barrier. Yes, it is a 4-turn barrier, not 4 hits. He can have really high accuracy and also can be very evasive. His best allies are AC Cloud, Spring Joom, and Ashen King. He works really well with Great Sword and Sword Warrior. Some of his best VCs are listed here as well. Mono Dark is still possible with Raph and Kitone or Vivi. But those might not be the best teams in the current meta. His VC will come on week 2. It supports Sword Warrior, Sword Knight, and Fist. The party abilities are AoE Resistance 24, Slash Resistance 16, and Physical Man-Eater 25. Hollow abilities are for quest content, gives the team AP consumption down 15. The bestowed effects are Attack 10% and Agility 5%. VC Mastery for quest are Luck 4% and Accuracy 3. This is the only AoE Resistance VC for the Sword Knight group, a very valuable card. Until they release better wide area guard VCs, AoE resistance is still very important. His weapon, the Hyperion, gives Cipher slash attack 15, accuracy 15, healing power 15, and AoE resistance of 8. Only assault type is available for this sword. I will have his 140 showcase video uploaded when FF8 is announced in the news. Alright, let's move on to Trials of Reckoning. Edea is the new boss, and she has Curse and General Dispel as an enemy unit. With the return of TOR, Ragnarok Replica is getting a +6 upgrade. The slash and strike resistance increased from 10 to 15. However, the unique abilities for the units have not changed. The new item is the Sorceress's Letter. The general ability at +5 is Critical Evasion 30. This is really good, the first crit evasion equipment for non-heavy armor units. The aim type is the best in my opinion, but I would suggest to build a shield type as well. The unique abilities for Cipher are Physical Man-Eater 20 and Unit Resistance 10. For Squall, AoE Resistance 10 and Critical Damage 20. For Rinoa, Magic up 30% and +5 to all attack type resistances. For Irvine, reduce physical damage taken 10% and AoE resistance 10. I don't think this is best in slot for any of the FF8 units. Maybe Cipher for the accuracy and unit resistance. Okay, that's all the FF8 info I am covering today. Now let's go to my priority list. In the S+ tier, I have Cipher's VC. AoE resistance and physical man-eater for Sword Warrior and Sword Knight is really good. There are many sword-wielding units in the game, and there will be more. It is a Final Fantasy game after all. In the S tier, I have Cipher. He is a very good DPS unit and really strong against many of the meta units. His weakness is lack of re-raise or courage. Being able to break barrier and remove re-raise with one attack is very convenient. The Seed of Fate VC is in my A tier. It is a main slot card for mono lightning teams. Mono element teams are fading fast, but this VC has a 10k guaranteed. And shards are available for Vision Star exchange. In B tier, I have Squall. He is better than before with his upgrades. But it is still not enough. I don't recommend pulling for him unless you are a fan of the character. In the C tier, I have Irvine's VC, Rinoa, and Irvine the unit. Irvine's VC, as I said earlier, it is a replaceable subcard even in the guild battle reserve system. I don't recommend spending any vis for it. I might have only used it for a week in arena for the bonus. Never used it in any CM, quick pick or guild battle. Rinoa, her LB upgrades are very good, but her best attribute is still haste and healing. She could still perform well in the current meta. But I don't recommend spending any vis to buy her shards. If this is the first time you are getting her, slow build her. If you already have her at EX, she is good for Mindsphere farming. For Irvine, they did not increase his range, that's his biggest weakness and the thing that makes him difficult to use. They gave him a lot of physical man-eater and crit rate, but it does not change his place in the meta. Don't pull for him, he is not worth it. Alright, that's all I have for today. My Lucio showcase might be up already. And my Cipher showcase is next. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.